Now that Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is exiting theaters and making its way over to the Blu-ray and 4K version, a lot of fans around the world are very curious about what Disney and Lucasfilm have in store for the future of the Star Wars franchise with their brand new Star Wars universe. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about Episode 9 is that this movie was a foundation to create new Star Wars lore. It was just the beginning. It was Disney and Lucasfilm in an attempt to develop new Star Wars lore related to the Sith. We learned more about the Sith Eternal in the Visual Dictionary, the world of Exegol, Palpatine, and more. And a lot more of this will be explained, by the way, this March with the Rise of Skywalker novelization, which is going to be the first step of the development of this new Star Wars universe. So, beyond everything here, both Disney and Lucasfilm are currently focused on new movies, new TV shows, new comics, books, novels, and video games. That's all going to consist of this new Star Wars universe. I think one thing that most fans are looking forward to is, of course, the first film of the new Star Wars trilogy, these new Star Wars series of films that are going to be released throughout this entire decade of the 2020s. So, this new trilogy, like I say, it's going to be based in a brand new era of Star Wars that we have never seen before on the big screen, that we have never seen in the Disney canon as of yet, and it really is going to be quite something to see. So, with this new Star Wars trilogy, what's rather exciting is that, of course, both Disney and Lucasfilm are currently focused on the future of Star Wars after Episode 9, and their Star Wars universe to come that will redefine Star Wars and evolve it into something new for the fans, where currently both Disney and Lucasfilm are primarily focused on their new Star Wars trilogy, and that these three new Star Wars films are said to be based sometime before the events of The Phantom Menace. One of the big plans for these movies is to demystify the Force by explaining the legends of the Wills, who are godlike beings, and that they are set to explain the retelling of the concept of the Chosen One. The films are said to introduce tons of new Jedi and dark side users that will be based in the Outer Rim and in the unknown regions, that they are also looking to base the films around the legends of the Sith and a new Chosen One from the past that will redefine the concept of the Chosen One prophecy into creating the concept of there being multiple Chosen Ones throughout history of the Star Wars universe. Now, both Disney and Lucasfilm are still trying to get A-list actors like Keanu Reeves, Gerard Butler, Anthony Hopkins, and more on board of their new Star Wars films to bring fans into the new mythology of Star Wars, and that the first film of the trilogy is codenamed Star Wars X/Star Wars Eternal, that provides fans as to what the film will consist of in the near future once it's released. Now, the new trilogy is also set to explain new truths and secrets about the netherworld of the Force in the upcoming set of Star Wars movies that will reshape the franchise into something new, where additionally it's noted that Disney and Lucasfilm are trying to get Hans Zimmer on board as a composer for these new Star Wars films to give fans a different tone of the franchise while also staying true to the sound of John Williams. So, the thing that really takes me by surprise is that they're trying to change the concept of the Chosen One into there being multiple Chosen Ones, and that they're actually focused on really telling the legacy or the legend of one of the other Chosen Ones before Anakin Skywalker. Now, I don't know about you guys, but to me, I think that this sounds like a big risk by Disney and Lucasfilm, and this really sounds like, obviously, that they are retconning elements of the Chosen One prophecy and what it really means. So, when we look at what Disney and Lucasfilm have done before in the past, especially with The Rise of Skywalker, is that obviously, that in itself changes our view of Return of the Jedi, and this plan with these new Star Wars movies, without a doubt, are going to change how we view the prequel trilogy era, specifically Revenge of the Sith, and the concept of the Chosen One, and Anakin Skywalker, you name it. The other thing that really stands out to me is that the new trilogy is going to demystify the Force by explaining the legends of the Wills. Now, the Wills, in case you guys did not know, are created by George Lucas back in 1976. He came up with the idea of these gods that watch over the entire universe and the galaxy, and that they are the creators of the galaxy as we know it in the Star Wars franchise. So, the fact that they're going to demystify the Force, it could very well be a good or a bad move by Disney and Lucasfilm because, well, the thing about the Wills is that they're so mysterious. We know little to nothing about them. And the fact that they want to explore legends of the Wills more so in these new Star Wars movies, I think it's going to be interesting, to say the least. I'm not quite sure how they're going to execute this, whether or not it's going to be told through the Jedi or different characters that we are currently unaware of. But at the end of the day, I'm really optimistic about what they have in store for this new era. There's a lot of talk that this new era of Star Wars for these new movies are actually going to be called the High Republic era, and that it's going to be based hundreds of years before the events of the Phantom Menace. So that's the talk right now. It's going to be called the High Republic, and it's really going to be an interesting time because this is going to introduce tons of new Jedi. It's going to be a time in where Yoda was still alive and stuff around those lines, so looking forward to that as well. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.